see again later. pressure-free buying experience.
Convenient mobile service.
Lifetime powertrain contract. The Body Shop. Where can you find all these things in one place?
Woody
Folsom Automotive. That's right.
Started with the first, okay.
I remember this one.
All right, this is a call to order of the Historic Preservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Could I get a roll call, please?
Chairman Evan Goodwin, Vice Chairman Joe DePaul,
Here?
Commissioner Carletha Frazier,
Here.
Commissioner Jim Hiss,
Here.
Commissioner Tim Probst,
Here.
Commissioner Debbie Wonder.
Thank you. Notice regarding adjournment, the Historic Preservation Commission will not hear new items after 9:30 PM unless authorized by a majority vote of the commission members present. Items which have not been heard before 9:30 PM may be continued to the next regular meeting or an additional meeting date as determined by the commission members. Move on to the adoption of minutes. Do we have any discussion on the minutes or a motion to adopt? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor to adopt the meeting minutes for the March 5th meeting?
Aye.
Aye. So the meeting minutes have been adopted. Moving on to the election of officers, we had elected 2 officers to the Historic Preservation Review Committee with the understanding that the chair and the vice chair were both already on it. So we wanted to revisit that. There was some confusion with that, thinking that Evan and I and Tim and Jim are all on it. So we kind of wanted to revisit that and make sure that we had it sorted out and we're electing 2. So I Tim and Jim, you guys have been on it as well. Jim, do you want to continue to be on it, or?
I'm good not being on it, but I've been done it for like a year and a half now, I think. So I really haven't. I don't think I've been very helpful. Like, I mean, I'll leave it to the architects for sure.
Okay. Well, I think I'm happy to serve on the HPRC. Tim, how about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Stay on it.
Do we have any other discussion, or we want to move forward with nominating?
For nominating.
Okay. Well, I'll nominate Tim to the Tim Probst to the Historic Preservation Review Committee. No second is required. So we can go ahead and vote for Tim Probst to the Historic Preservation Review Committee. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye?
Let's say aye. Aye.
So Tim has been Tim has been appointed to the Historic Preservation Review Committee. Do we have a second nomination?
Second would be Joe DePaul. Nominate Joe DePaul.
All those in favor of me for the Historic Preservation Review Committee?
Aye.
All right, so Joe DePaul has been appointed to the Historic Preservation Review Committee. Moving on to new business. One head of tide request by Robert Graves.
Okay, so apparently the applicant is about 5 minutes away.
Okay,
So we do have some discussion items. We could skip forward to that.
sure.
That's,
Well,
what's that?
We can,
Take things out of order. Do we need to vote?
I think it's up to the determination of the chair.
Yeah, I mean, we can either,
Forward the discussion until the applicant's here.
okay, so do we need a motion to that, or can we just table that for the
On
moment?
the safe side, go ahead and make a motion to do.
Okay. Well, I'll motion to set aside the new business for now and move forward to the discussion items and return to new business after that. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so the motion passes. Let's move forward to the discussion, the Historic District Monthly Update.
This is the various permits that were approved by staff, site feature permits from February 18th through April 16th. The majority of them include signage. We do have a parking lot paving at 207 Bluffton Road, and a fence at 16 Robertson Street. So nothing out of the ordinary here, but just wanted the commission to be aware of what else is going on that you don't review. And that's all I have for the update. I do want to mention too that we have the 10th Annual Historic Preservation Symposium coming up next week, and I gave you a little flyer there. This is a fantastic way to learn about the various grants that are available for both commercial and residential development within Old Town, and there's I think, a somewhat substantial amount of money available for people who would like to make improvements to their house. It could be adding a new roof or re-roofing a house. We've been pretty successful with the projects that we've had. Most recently, we gave one to Historic Bluffton Foundation. They've had several projects that we've helped pay for. So I hope that you'll be able to attend. It will be on the public channel as well. Public is invited to attend.
Do you have this in a digital form where it could be emailed out?
We could do that. Yeah, we'd be glad to do that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions on the staff report? No question. All right. So moving back to,
And I'm sorry, I don't have this on the agenda, but I do want to introduce Sam Barrow. He is our newest planner here, and he will be responsible for the historic preservation items. We're working closely together to get him up to speed. But Sam came from Germany, and is now living here in Beaufort County in Beaufort. And so he's been here a couple of months now already. Okay, so if you see his name, this is Sam. I think a couple of you have already met him. And then what else did I want to point out? I felt like there was one other thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about the June meeting since we're in discussion time and we're waiting for the applicant. It does look like we're going to have a pretty full agenda for June. We've got 6 items scheduled, or we're going to go through and make certain that they've got their full submission in order. But it does look like we'll have 6 items. We will be down 2 commissioners, and we still will have a vacancy at that time. So if you don't think that you're going to be able to be here, please let us know in advance so that we could reschedule that meeting as far in advance as possible.
So I got a question. Our project will be on there, so I'm going to recuse myself for that too. Are we going to have enough with that?
You won't we won't.
Okay.
You guys all work with the same firm? Is everyone work with the same?
Tim and I do not. I mean, we did in the past, but, no, we're just running into that. Yeah, if Tim has to recuse himself. Somebody else will be here to present, but Tim will not be here as a vote, so, that takes us down from a quorum.
And then, but the town council's not voting until June on,
Correct, yeah.
So at that point, does that just become a review? Because we're not able to, to vote on that, on whatever that project is.
I mean, it could be reviewed, but if you're not able to vote on it, I don't know that the applicant would want to come in twice for that item unless
So
there's
will
some
it be
feedback.
removed from the agenda then?
Well, we'll need to talk about this. It's possible that we won't even place it on the agenda if we know we're not going to have a quorum.
Right.
So we'll talk to the applicant and figure out what we need to do.
Okay, so one option would be reschedule the meeting or either within the same week or the following week. And the other one is review some travel plans
Or special meeting.
or a special meeting.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well.
Okay,
Yeah, because we have that situation with another application that we had on the agenda for tonight for Tabby Shell. And so we are looking to see if we might be able to have a special meeting next week, either Monday or Wednesday. And so I did send an email yesterday, but I've only had one response so far. So if you think you might be able to attend a special meeting next Monday or Wednesday, if you could please let us know at your earliest convenience and the time that would be best. If it's earlier, like a 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m., that would be helpful.
You said you sent that email on yesterday?
Right.
Okay, I missed it, but I'm looking. I'll get back with you.
Okay. If you'd let us know. Ideally, we would like to know by end of business tomorrow. And then that way,
Preferably just so we can get the agenda out.
right.
I am looking at my calendar, and I am not available either day.
what dates are we looking? You guys talking about?
it's Monday or Wednesday next week, at 5 or 6 o'clock.
Evan will be back in town on Monday. So it might be possible, but we won't be able to get in touch with him until next week.
No, it's for the whole HVC. It's, I was gonna have to recuse myself tonight, and then we wouldn't have a quorum for it, so it's one of our projects.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's not on this list, okay.
Yeah, we had to remove it from the agenda, so we were trying to, it's kind of, ready to move forward with permit if it was something that could get approved.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of at,
All right,
do we wait a month?
next
or not?
Monday and Tuesday are fine for me.
I think it was Monday and Wednesday.
Right, you're not
Monday.
able,
Wednesday's this thing.
No, that's Thursday, the 15th.
Oh, that is 8 days away, you're right. Wednesdays, I have Rotary Club, but I guess I can skip that.
it should be a very quick meeting, and it might be something that we can do earlier than 6 p.m. But we're going to need to have Evan here.
Curly, so what about Monday the 19th?
Any Monday works.
I am available.
Okay. Could you do it 5 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
And Jim, did you just say you were available?
On the 19th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Tim?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, then we will get Evan or Debbie on board as well and go from there.
Okay, great.
As long as Joe's okay with it, I guess it is your item.
Yeah, we will, Lydia will be available to represent the project, so.
Okay.
Thank you all for working with us on that. All right. After discussion, moving on to new business, one head of tide or request by Robert L. Graves III, applicant on behalf of Jason Alexander, property owner, for review of a COA HD to allow a second floor addition to an existing single-family detached residence to be located mostly within the existing hip roof and partially within a gable end roof addition. Proposed changes also include a partial enclosure of a rear porch, replacing a second floor vent with an egress window and adding a side yard stoop. The property is located at 1 Head of Tide in the Old Town Bluffton Historic District and zoned Neighborhood Conservation HD District.
All righty, thank you. This property is located right off Stock Farm Road. You see there on the star. It, however, is not within the Stock Farm development and is not part of a property owners association. The property right now has some mature trees that surround the existing house, as well as the carriage house. And here is the original plan. This property, the house was actually built before it was annexed into the town of Bluffton. And so the zoning at the time of annexation, it was in place. And here are the elevations that were provided as part of the original house. And some current photos. You can see the only thing that's changing in the front elevation is that this vent will change into a window. Here is the right elevation, the east elevation. There will be the door located approximately here with the stoop, and there is a service yard. Here is the rear portion of the house, the porch. This will be partially enclosed for a laundry room. And then the first floor plan, I've highlighted the places where there will be changes. Additionally, to the porch enclosure and the side door stoop, there's a service area that's not shown on the plan, and there's also a window box that will be removed, and we'll need to get some information regarding the enclosure. On the second floor, the vent will be replaced with the window, and then there will be a gable end that will be added, and will be the purpose of that is to have a second master bedroom. So here's the proposed alterations that you see up above here, the window. The columns right now do not appear to be this way, and I don't believe that they're intended to be replaced, but they do show differently. I just wanted to point that out. Here on the right elevation is the window box that will be removed. We'll need some information regarding how this will be enclosed. And then you see here the back porch with the partial enclosure, and then the gable end that's going to be added. Again, a little more information. The door in the front doesn't exactly match the current door, so I've just put little X's here to identify that these were not intended to change based on our discussion at HPRC. Here is the main change with this particular project. The stoop addition, and then again, that window box will be removed, and it's located approximately in that area. There will be no trees removed from the property, so there's no need for a landscape plan. There are some sections. If you see that detail, they will provide 8 feet, so this will be a 2-story residence. The space above right now exists, but the only change will be to this area that you see here. Some details here, these weren't terribly helpful, and I think there's some additional detail information that will be needed that we've identified in the conditions. So the review criteria, there are 4. For the most part, this application does conform. There are some conditions that if they are provided, staff believes that all 4 criteria will be met. So our recommendation regarding this particular application, and some of this we should have already obtained, but we did not, so I'll point that out. We do need to get a letter of agency from the property owner for the applicant to act on the property owner's behalf. We do need some current square footage information. It does not appear that that second floor square footage has been identified, so we need to get that updated and shown on the plan. Just want to make certain that we've got the correct material for the roof identified. We'd like to have some more details relating to the stoop materials, more information regarding the window and the door finishes, as well as the operations. The address on the plan does need to be corrected. The service yard location is not shown and does need to be shown. Additionally, it may be expanded, I'm not certain, with that change to the second floor. So if it needs to be expanded, that will have to be shown on the plans, as well as additional details to make certain that any equipment is screened. And I wanted to add a few more things that weren't on your staff report, and so there were 3 more items. We'd like to see a wall section through eave detail for the porch addition. Wanted some information regarding the wall area where the window box is proposed to be removed, and also to have the door that's proposed on the right elevation to align with the window height. And with those 10 items, that is all we have. The commission tonight can approve the application as it was submitted by the applicant, approve with conditions, either the conditions that staff provided, or you can feel free to add additional conditions if necessary, or deny the application. And with that, I'm sorry I didn't include a slide with the motion, but we can work through that. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
It sounds like there are several different things on here that are incomplete before the application is even brought forward.
And I'm sorry if that's, I'm not certain if that's a comment or a question for me.
I mean, it's kind of both. If you go back to your numbers, like the square footage, that's something that, I mean, has that been updated? And then a letter of agency.
And I will tell you, I've actually talked to the property owner regarding this application, so I'm not concerned with that. I would not feel uncomfortable if you took a vote on this tonight with that condition that we're not going to give that final plan sign-off approval until we have that information. The property owner did sign the application, but there's actually a requirement to also have a letter of agency. So I'm not uncomfortable with having this as a condition. And then the square footage, as this is an additional building type, they do meet the square footage requirements. They are under that requirement, but we just want to make certain that we have the accurate information.
Do you have any other questions for staff? As far as the detailing goes, it seems like a lot of it is intended to match the existing, but I think we'll need some clarification from the applicant on that. Are you as staff comfortable reviewing those details without
I am.
PC?
Yes, I am, to make certain that they are consistent with the existing materials of the house.
Okay. Any other questions for staff before we hear from the applicant? Thank you. And is the applicant present and would like to speak on behalf of the project?
Sure. I don't see him.
You have to forgive me, I have not filled out one of these with you guys in many years, and I'm hopefully going to get better at it over the course of the next couple years. plan to do a few more projects. As it relates to this particular project, kind of working out the kinks as far as, to me, what would be considered match existing, like you brought up. I have no intent of changing the front columns on the house. The goal here is to make it blend into the existing surrounding structures, and working with this architect that I had not worked with before, did not know that that was a requirement other than to say match existing. I think based on the comments that were made at the HPRC to require 8-foot elevations inside the home, that has been met. We definitely have the ceiling height inside the existing roof deck, as well as the comments about the letter of agency. There's a few things that are involved in the process that aren't necessarily on the application, to include sending out letters, which I spoke with Sam about, to adjoining property owners. So please forgive me in working through this for the first time in a few years. But the goal is to provide a product that is ultimately conforming and looks like it was never modified. It was originally the way it was when it was built. So that's the goal here for us. And I think with the help of staff, we can provide an application that meets all the boxes for you guys, and ultimately fits the character of the neighborhood. So, you guys have any questions for me?
Could you just state your name for the record? Just
Sorry,
so
first
we're
time.
covering the bases.
Trey Graves, or Robert L. Graves III, on behalf of the property owner.
And then we can move on to any questions from Mr. Graves.
So the service yard, so are you anticipating another compressor in there?
There will be another compressor. The service yard is big enough that it will accept the addition without modifying it in any way.
Okay.
Okay, so we're sticking with the same service yard.
Yeah, I don't want to touch anything I don't have to.
Okay. And the new stoop and railing, what is it? Is that intended to match the railing on the front porch? So
Yeah, so if you
match existing?
look at the pictures, and I don't know how to go back.
You can
on-
go back and forth with the arrow keys.
So if you look at the picture on the right, this appears to be a 2x6 with a 1x4 apron on the side with 2x2 pickets, and then 1x4 at the bottom. The only detailed railing or the detailed columns are above the horizontal plane at the guardrail. We're not adding those for the stoop, so it'll be the nominal lumber that is on the existing porch for the new stoop.
Okay. And the eaves are matching the existing. And
Photo that shows.
We more than likely wouldn't do perforated, just simply because there'll be a spray foam element that doesn't require it. But yes, for the most part, it'll be rough sawn ply or whatever is existing. Which looks to me to be 3/8.
yeah, well, plywood's not an approved material, so it'll need to be something.
Rough sawn cypress to match existing.
If that is your intent, then we will, Charlotte, do we need to make a determination for the acceptability of the rough sawn cypress ply to match what's there? Are you thinking plywood, or are you thinking just boards?
What is there? Let's see.
It looks to me to be 1x8 with a perforation. They don't make a 16-inch board.
Yeah, I think it's just match.
Okay. Perforated or not perforated, it's not going to matter. The spray foam will take care of it. So if
Yep.
we need to add perforation, we will.
Okay.
Can you go to the 3D view of the back? Yeah, right there. So those two windows in the laundry room, is there any reason they're different proportions?
Just
One's
a
wider.
bigger wall. And if you look towards the windows on this side, it would be the same dimension as those.
So they're same dimension, but the one that's fatter is on that side, is it not? Go back to that.
The 3D view? Yeah, so this
So those, the ones on the side are the same dimension as the one in the back, right? The fatter one is,
here and here, yeah, I think that is probably just a,
go to the rear elevation if you will. Yeah, so that one looks like it almost matches that one there, but the
here.
fatter one, yeah, when you look at it, it's, you know, they're so
There's
close.
the side elevation on
And
that,
go to the side.
like the actual elevation.
Go the wrong way. Other way. There you go.
It's the same.
That one's the same as that. Okay, and then the back one is the same as the one over there? In the back?
Let's get
So again, I think, again, back to the first time kind of comment.
Pushing that window back out.
Yeah, the goal is to match, you know, make it congruent.
Is there a window there now on?
No, it's a screen porch. It's a
Yeah,
door.
but is there a window on the left side?
It's a single 3068.
Are there going to be grids in the window?
They're gonna match, so
Match the
currently it's single hung, no grid.
Okay,
So we're matching existing.
okay. Do we have any other questions for the applicant or discussion on the project?
So, Chairman DePaul, you did ask about the rough sawn wood, soffits, that is not a permitted material.
Okay, so for them to match the existing, we need to make
We
a
need to
determination.
make a determination.
As part of our motion, that is acceptable.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm, happy with the overall shape of the addition. I think it's a nice improvement to, I think, what was a shed roof at the original submission. So I think, what's presented here is much more in keeping with, the architecture forms of the house that are there. I think there's a couple of things in here that are just notes that need to be cleaned up. It sounds like the square footage, if that is provided, generally looks like it's going to comply. As far as the missing details, we do like to see that level of information from people. We have kind of given some people a hard time on that in the past, but a lot of this is really matching the existing. I think I feel comfortable with staff reviewing that. If you guys feel like you're maybe not as comfortable with it, that maybe that's something we can think about having, the HBRC members also put their eyes on, so that they don't necessarily have to come back to this meeting. I don't know how you all feel about that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, but it would be good for the review committee when they get there, like the simple things like the square footage and the materials for the stoops and all. Those are things that should be known before they are presented to us.
Right. I don't disagree. I think that the range for the kind of the additional building type in this case is large enough.
Understood. But to have that information in front of you is also still good.
Yes. Do you have any other discussion on the point?
I mean,
How is everybody feeling about?
feel good. I mean, do we make a condition that they state in the plans their intended materials?
Yeah, I mean, I think staff is asking that they provide the larger details of them, in large wall sections that
I'm okay with that.
we typically see. Okay. Is anybody Ready to make a motion? If we don't have any further discussion, I will move to approve the application with staff recommendations 1 through 10, with the condition that the HPRC members also see the required additional detailing and information for review as part of that staff review.
And the roughs on wood.
And also that we determine that the roughs on wood soffits to match the existing is a permitted material, an acceptable material in this case.
I second.
All right, I have a second. Do we have any discussion on the motion? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries and the project has been approved with conditions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you later. Have a good night.
We've already handled discussion. If we don't have any further discussion, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting has adjourned.